Hey, Blake here from RB Adventures. I'm here at the shop again by myself today, but I want to speak on everyone's account when I say this, but the stock horn on these Sprinter vans is a joke. It's pretty embarrassing when you're in traffic and you sound like this. It gives everyone a good laugh, but if you want to sound like this, then stay tuned, and I'm going to show you how to install the CAtuned horn kit that comes with hella Supertones. And by what you just heard, it's quite the difference. Let's get it done. Alright, so to go over all the tools that are going to be used today in this project, there's not a lot here. And PPE is not going to be a big deal today, just bare minimum, so you choose what you would like to wear. I have my drill with a T25 Torx bit. I've got my socket wrench with an extension, and I have a 13mm and a 10mm socket. I have my zip ties, which those are going to be visible, so choose your color wisely. I got my little box here for hardware, that way I can keep up with it whenever everything's ready to go back on. Just get it from there and throw it on. Then I have my snips for the zip ties, and then I have everything here from the CAtuned kit, which is the wiring harness, which is plug and play, the hella Supertones, and the bracket. So let's get this thing done. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna get your drill and your T25 Torx bit, and you're gonna remove these 3 screws across the top here. And once those are out, there's some clips on the side and on the bottom. You'll have to kind of tug aggressively to remove that. And then once those are out, there's also a small harness that's connected to this parking sensor. So let's go ahead and get that done. All right, so this is what I was talking about. You're gonna have to pull kind of aggressively for these. They pop right out. And then you have that little harness in here. It's got a little brown clip. You just press that with your fingernail and it pulls right out. So now that we have this off, let's set it aside. Move on to the next thing. Okay, so this is where your socket wrench with your extension and 13mm socket come into play. In this hole here, that's the bolt that holds the bracket for the stock horn. We'll remove that, and we'll also remove the harness off of the horn. Let's do that real quick. All right, so we have the bracket removed, but I want to show you something real quick up close. I had to add a tool to the list of tools used for the job that I did not mention in the tool overview, and that is just a small flathead screwdriver. And the reason for that is this clip is not like most clips that I usually see, so I have to insert the flathead screwdriver in where this gray piece is here. Once you insert that in, press, you hear it click. This right here becomes loose, right here. And what you'll do is you'll press down and pull. And there you go. So your next step is you're gonna want to remove these 2 T25 Torx screws from this bracket here. That's just gonna lean forward. And I'm gonna go ahead and install the bracket from CAtuned. It's just gonna fit underneath. The right angle is going to go back towards the van. And what I'll do is I'll just get it lined up, just hand tight. and then I'll tighten it up. You don't want to go too crazy. I'm using an impact driver, but I'm not going all the way. Just a little bitty ugga-dugga. So that's solid. It's not going anywhere. So now I'm going to remove these two 10mm bolts that hold the horns on there. And I'm just going to set them aside. And then I'm just going to kind of mock up the horns real quick. So now that you have them kind of mocked up, I'm going to get them even more situated how I want them. And now I'm going to tighten them down with the 10mm socket. Alright, so we've got the Hella Supertones all mocked up the way we want them. They're tight, they're not going anywhere. But I do want to apologize. These are not 10mm, they are 3/8. The other one was a 13mm, but these are 3/8. And that's what I had to switch to get them all the way cinched down. So apologize for that. Moving on though, I have the harness, and it literally just slides in. You're going to push that little piece that we moved earlier, that gray piece, and then you're going to take these and you're going to slide these onto the back of the horns, and I'll move the camera for that. Alright, if you can excuse the bug guts on my radiator, I'll show you real quick how the harness connects to the horns. I'm going to use the side with the double harness on the furthest horn on the passenger side, and then it has like an extension off of that where the other horn goes. So the one with the double on the passenger side, the extension goes to the driver's side. I think it'll clean up a little nicer. But anyways, you have the female ends on the harness and you have the male end on the horn, and it just slides on. Pretty easy. And so it's the same on the other horn. And I'll do that real quick, and then I'll show you how I zip tie it to clean it up a little bit. Alright, I'm going to show you real quick where I threw my zip ties. I left the tails on them, that way you can kind of see them better, but I've got one on each side of the bracket here, and that just kind of holds the harness on the back side of the bracket out of sight. And then I've got one on this bung here, and then I have one in this hole where the grill goes over, and that's going to hold that connection point kind of out of the way, and it's not going to touch the radiator. So all right, let's throw this thing back on. Hey, thanks for watching. Obviously that's not a very difficult project to do, and those Supertones, they make a bunch of noise, so I think it's definitely worth doing. And like most of our videos, we really encourage you to take the initiative to tackle some of these projects yourself. Most of them are not as hard as you think they would be. So, and if you ever have any questions for us, please feel free to message us or comment to us, and we'll reply. So give us a like and a follow and subscribe to us, and maybe stay tuned to the next video. Thanks.